Brian McDonald here with the Coaching Update. I'd like to start off by congratulating Preston Mull on a great finish to the outdoor season. He finished up with 2 strong motos at Lake Elsinore to end up with a 19th overall in the 450 class. A great accomplishment, so big congratulations to Preston on his best ever 450 finish. And that leads me into what I want to talk to you about today. And that's a question I was asked a few years ago when I first started working with Preston. And the question was, do you think that somebody in his position has the ability to grow into being a top 20 rider? And to give you a little info on where he was at the time, he had tried to qualify for a few supercrosses, a few outdoor nationals, and essentially qualified dead last or next to dead last. He was at the very back of the pack of the guys trying to qualify for supercrosses and outdoor nationals. And I knew where they were going with this question. Is the training that you're going to provide for Preston, is it really going to be able to help him become a top 20 rider? And I knew where they were coming from, because people in his position very rarely grow into being a top 20 rider. If you've been in that position where you're not even making it into the top 40 and you've been there for a few years, it becomes really tough. You very rarely see somebody come out of that position to become a top 20 rider. So I knew where they were coming from. And I said, the answer to that question is absolutely yes. I believe they can grow into being a top 20 rider. And I think they were a little blown away by the answer and the confidence I had behind the answer, because they're not seeing anybody come out of that group and become a top 20 rider. But I said, here's the deal. It's not that they don't have people in that position don't have the potential, don't have the ability. It's that they don't know that they have the potential and ability. They hope they have the potential and ability, but they don't know. And there's a difference between hoping and knowing. So you've got someone that's in this position where they're not breaking into the top 20. They're not even breaking into the top 40. And the people around them's not breaking into the top 20. So there becomes a powerful association of where they're at and what kind of rider they are. And riders in that position are not growing into top 20 riders. So that becomes a hard place to get out of. That's the reason it's so tough, and it's such a rare occasion that people in that position grow into being a top 20 rider. It's not that they don't have the ability. It's not that they don't have the potential. There's a lot of riders outside the top 40 that definitely have the ability, definitely have the potential to become a top 20 rider. It's just that they don't know that they have that. And that powerful association of them being in the position they're in and seeing the other people that's in the position they're in makes it really hard to get out of that position. But it is possible. And I said, here's the deal. The training that we're going to provide is all about me helping that rider sell themselves on their ability and potential and developing a new association, a new powerful association, that they can see that ability, that they know, they don't hope, they know they have it for sure. And I said, I can tell you right now that he has the ability, that he has the potential. That's not hard to do. I have enough examples, enough experiences, enough stuff to prove that he has the ability and potential right now. But even if I can sell him 100% today on that, it doesn't change things overnight, because there has become such a strong association with where he is right now. So this is a process where you have to continually sell yourself over and over again on your ability and your potential. And that's what the training is about. And that's what the coaching is about, is being able to help that rider sell themselves and develop a new association. And as that new association becomes stronger, the other one will start to dissolve, and you'll end up with results like Preston has, where he's had top 20 finishes in the 450 Supercross, 450 Outdoor, top 15 finishes in 250 Supercross, is going to end up with a national number next year. And I know people are going to be quick to go, well, that's one person. No, it's not just one person. Preston has had a few bigger breakthroughs than some of the other riders I'm working with, but there's at least 5 other guys that are right on his heels that have used the same process, who are selling themselves on their potential and ability and have had amazing breakthroughs. It's not one isolated person. We've got Michael Kiden. He's come from Preston's position to having 3 or 4 top 15 finishes in 250 Supercross. We've got Alex Ray. He's been with me for a few years, selling himself. He's qualified inside the top 20, knocking on the door, making 250 and 450 Supercross main events. We've got Brad Nodditt, been with me for a few years, selling himself, come from outside the top 40 to make Supercross main events. In fact, in the Canadian Outdoors, he went from being outside the top 15 to finishing top 5 in the series this year, selling himself on his ability and potential. We've got Luke Vonley, another rider I've been working with for a few years. He's had better finishes in Supercross and Outdoors than he's ever had this year, and he's been in there for a few years. He's come from outside that top 40. He's inside between that top 20 and 30 range right now. And we've got another guy, Mike Corbin, one of the first guys that I started with several years ago, still selling himself on his ability, has went from outside that top 40 to making Supercross main events in the 250 class, knocking on the door, making main events in the 450 Supercross. So it's not just one isolated case. It's guys working to develop a new association. And it has taken time. It's taken a few years for these guys to accomplish this, to break out of that group back there. But it shows that it can be done. It's not becoming a rare occurrence anymore. And I tell you, the more people who do it, the more people realize it's just about developing that new powerful association. And like I said, it's not going to happen overnight. But you got to keep working on it over and over again until it becomes to a point when somebody tells you, hey, people in your position don't make it. You go, what are you talking about? Let me tell you about my potential. Let me tell you about my ability. And you get to a point where you can't even see what people are saying when they say, you don't have what it takes. You can't even comprehend that. Then all the hard work, all the effort that you've put in starts to create great breakthroughs. And that's what this coaching message is about, is getting people to see. It's all about creating a new powerful association. If you want to become the rider that you want to be, you have that potential. You have that ability. It's all about getting to know that you have that power. Not hoping no more, getting to know. And once you can do that, amazing things can happen. Preston, he may end up with not only the special story that he has right now, but if he continues to grow and sell himself on his ability and potential, he may end up with one of those amazing stories like a Kurt Warner or a Michael Jordan. 2 guys that were in positions that people told them, you can't come from the position you're in and become great in your sport. Kurt Warner was bagging groceries and selling insurance at one point in time. How many people do you think were freaked out when he went from being a grocery bagger and an insurance salesman to being a Super Bowl MVP? How many people do you think actually thought he could come from that position? And there's a lot of people out there, not the only obstacle you're facing is the position you're in, but it's the critics and the people that will tell you that you can't do it. They're even making that association that you can't do it even stronger. But I'm here to tell you right now, those are meaningless opinions. People can't tell you that you can't do something. I see top trainers and stuff in our sport telling riders, well, you don't have what, telling parents, well, your rider will be an average C rider at best. Or your rider will never make it as a top pro. You can't tell somebody that. You don't have that insight. You need to call it how it is. And that is say that, well, with my coaching ability, I don't have the ability to turn your son into a great rider. That's what they mean to say. They're not going to say that because it makes them look bad instead of making somebody else look bad. But let's call it what it is. They don't have the ability to make you great. It's not that you don't have the potential or ability. They're misleading you. So hopefully you guys can grab something from this coaching message. I feel it's one of the better ones I've put out in a long time. And I'm going to attach some links to Michael Jordan's Hall of Fame speech where he outlines all the positions that he was in that people said he couldn't come from to be great. I'll attach a link to some of Kurt Warner's stuff. I'll attach a link to some of the progress that these guys that I highlighted highlighted some of the progress they have made from coming outside that top 40 to being inside the top 20 and having some great breakthroughs. So I hope you guys appreciate this message, and I hope to talk to you guys soon. Thanks, and have a great day.